So he broke up with you over text message.
Yeah, it's kind of like firing someone over the internet.
What a Weasley prick.
Yeah, but what does that make me? I mean, someone who falls for a prick. So
I mean, we all fall for them. I mean, pricks are spontaneous, unpredictable, and fun. And then we're all surprised when they turn out to be pricks.
I followed him to Omaha.
You did?
I had a job waiting for me in San Fran, but he got the offer for Niagara, and he told me we could start a life together, so I followed him.
Yeah, to Nebraska.
I look in the mirror and all I see is compromises. I was supposed to do something.
You'll do plenty.
When I was 16, I thought by 23 I'd be married, you know, have a kid, corner office by day, entertaining at night. God, I was supposed to drive a Grand Cherokee by now.
Well, life can be underwhelming that way.
Now I have my heart set on 29 because, 30 is just too apocalyptic, and I mean, where did you think you would be when you turned,
It doesn't work that way.
I don't want to say anything that's anti-feminist. I really appreciate everything you did for my generation.
It was all pleasure.
Well done.
But I feel like no matter how much success I have, it won't matter till I find the right guy.
You really thought this was the right guy for you?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I could have made it work. He really fit the bill.
The bill?
My type. You know, white-collar college grad, likes dogs, loves funny movies. 6'1", brown hair, kind eyes. Works in finance, but is outdoorsy on the weekends. God, I always thought he'd have a single-syllable name like John or Matt or Dave. He'd drive a Ford Runner, and the only thing he loved more than me is his golden lab, which... and a nice smile. What about you?
Well, I
Oh,
never...
no, I meant Alex.
Oh. Let me think for a second. Well, I mean, by the time you hit 34, your physical requirements are pretty much out the window. I mean, you secretly pray he'd be taller than you. Not an asshole would be nice. Someone who enjoys my company and comes from a good family. You don't think about that when you're younger. Wants kids. Likes kids. Well, wants kids. Healthy enough to play catch with his future son one day. And, well, please let him earn more than I do. I know this doesn't make sense right now, but believe me, otherwise it's just a recipe for disaster. And, hopefully some hair on his head, but it's not a deal breaker exactly anymore. And, a nice smile. Yeah. A nice smile just might do it.
Wow. That was depressing.
It wasn't that bad.
Should just date lesbians.
Tried it. We're no picnic ourselves.
I don't mind being married to my career, and I don't expect it to hold me while I fall asleep at night. I don't want to settle. So.
You're young. You see settling as some sort of failure.
It is, by definition.
Don't worry. By the time you find someone who's right for you, it won't feel that way. And the only person left to judge you is going to be the 24-year-old with a target on your back.
Yeah, mom and dad, problem solved as far as they're concerned. Let's have another round. Good. Yeah, how did that work? How did that work on you to have the little reminders of all your failures right before you started whispering in your ear?
It helped to kind of up the ante of it.
Yeah, and what it did was it accelerated the cadence of. I don't ever want to tell an actor to speed it up. Mm-hmm. But I want to put a fire under your ass to make you go faster. And it's always about the given circumstances. The more you have those things, those labels running around in your head, particularly in a scene where you're dealing with failure. Do you know what I mean? I mean, this girl's not used to failure, not used to it at all. And you have fallen on your face, and everybody knows it. And falling on your face in front of a guy that you looked at as a has-been and a dinosaur is really bad. And falling on your face in front of a woman you admire, you're making little girl mistakes in front of a real grown-up woman. What's that line in An Education? When at the end she's talking to Emma Thompson's character, and I'm paraphrasing, and she said something to the effect of, when she said, every woman makes these kinds of mistakes, and she looks at her and she goes, "Oh, you're not a woman." Meaning you're a girl. Girls make these kinds of mistakes. Women don't make these kinds of mistakes. I love the gesture for more drinks, because that's exactly what you need at this point. Lots and lots of drinks. Great at the great look to him at the end, where we're like, we fixed her.
Mm-hmm.
I think she'll be okay now. And I think the best part was about compromise. Compromise by definition is failure, and you were just great. You were like, "Oh, sweetheart, no. Compromise is life. Life is compromise. The people, even the people that write the history and make the big, they make the big moves. All you see is the level of success. You don't see, you see the tip of the iceberg. You don't see all of the compromise and all the work that went into their little picture in the Wall Street Journal. Or as my dad always used to say, he gave me the image of a swan. A swan is this beautiful, just gorgeous little white floating palace with this long, luxurious neck, and it just floats along the water. And you look at it and you go, it's so graceful, so effortless. Just go below the water surface, paddling like hell. But you don't see that.
Yeah.
You look at, you go into Beverly Hills, or you go along, see somebody driving a Bentley, and they're gorgeous, and flowing hair, and you have no idea how much compromise they have experienced to get behind the wheel of that car, or how much compromise someone has done to play the lead in the film or to direct the film. How many people you had to screw to get into that to that position. And you're young and you're idealistic, and you think that there are things that you do this and then you get that, and then you do this and then you get that, and in a perfect world, yeah, that's what happens. But a perfect world is why we go and watch movies, because we watch how supposedly perfect worlds unravel. If it's a film about or a play about where everything goes right, it's like, who wants to see that? A Wonderful Life is about everything going wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's about her learning. It's about her growing up. You went out into the world and you had to get a little dirty, and you grow up. And this is a scene about you having to admit that you failed, and that takes some liquid lubrication to swallow that pill. Okay? Good.
Okay.
I'm liking it. Great. Good job, guys. All right. So let's do your monologue.